is AFRICUNIA TV, come to you from our studio here in the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Deborah Ezeh. Welcome to the news updates. We begin from Somalia, where the death toll from the twin attack in central Somalia has climbed to 48. The leader of Bale state said Thursday with al-Shabaab insurgents, claiming they were targeting politicians ahead of election. The first attack in Bale district was carried out on Wednesday night by a suicide bomber and killed two local lawmakers, including Amina Mohammed Abai and several of her guards as she campaigned for re-election. Minutes later, a car bomb exploded outside Beledweyne Main Hospital, where the injured were being taken for treatment, killing dozens, causing buildings to collapse and leaving vehicles in charred, twisted ruins. And in Ethiopia, the government has announced an immediate end to its 16-month-long civil war to give way to unimpeded relief supplies into the war-ravaged Tigray region. A statement by the government communication service on Thursday reads, "The government calls upon the donor community to redouble their generous contributions to alleviate the situation and reiterate its commitment to work in collaboration with relevant organizations to expedite the provision of humanitarian assistance to those in need." It is, however, not clear if the immediate humanitarian truce is a step towards a comprehensive ceasefire. And now in Nigeria, Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, in collaboration with Center for Women's Health and Information (YABA), has commenced advocacy and sensitization program on domestic and sexual violence throughout the 20 local councils of the state. Already, 4 councils have been covered in line with Governor Babajide's Sanwo-Olu directive following increasing case of domestic and sexual violence in the state. Speaking during a sensitization program at Oshodi Isolo Local Council, Executive Secretary of the agency, Titilayo Vivo Adeniyi, said the event was aimed at sensitizing residents about sexual and gender-based violence and offspring support service to victims with a view to reducing the rise in violence and defilement. According to White, it's important that the message gets to the grassroots because the governor has given the mandate that every resident should be appropriately informed and empowered with knowledge of sexual and domestic violence as to what to do if the unfortunate incident happens. And still in Nigeria, Nigeria's foreign reserve continued its downward slope, a trend formed towards the end of last year after it failed to sustain a monetary recovery witnessed in October. The gross figure, which has remained a consistent gradual depletion in the past 5 months, dropped to $39.54 billion on Tuesday. Year to date, the external reserve shed $975.7 million. The Central Bank of Nigeria has continued to intervene in the official exchange to provide much needed liquidity and sustain the value of the local currency in line with its managed float approach. The intervention, notwithstanding market volatility, continues across market segments. At the official Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange window, Naira currently trades around 415.5 Naira per dollar, sometimes about 50 Naira per dollar intraday trading margin. And still on the African scene, sporadic fighting was reported Thursday in Upper Nile State, according to spokesmen for the rival groups. Fresh fighting broke out between rival soldiers in South Sudan, threatening fragile 2018 peace agreement. The spokesman for South Sudanese government troops, Army Major General Lu Kwang, charged the rival force, known officially as the Sudan People Liberation Army in opposition, had declared war in attacking their position in Lonchu country located in the western part of the country. The decision came after government forces were accused of carrying out unprovoked attack on the rivals' military base, including cantonment sites in the states of Upper Nile and Unity. In a statement Wednesday, the US, the UK and Norway, the trio supporting South Sudan's peace deal, said they were concerned that the fighting threatens to undermine the government's unity. And away from that scene onto the foreign scenes, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Friday that Ukraine needs to achieve peace and halt Russia's bombardment that has forced millions to flee the country like Poland, where US President Joe Biden is due to witness the crisis firsthand. On the heels of leaders' summit in Brussels that aimed to show united Western front against Russia's month-long invasion of its neighbors, Biden goes to Poland on Friday to meet experts involved in the refugee response. Western leaders denounced Moscow's invasion as barbaric and promised new military and humanitarian aid after Thursday talks in Brussels. The Russian invasion, which President Vladimir Putin calls a special operation, has killed thousands of people, sent 3.6 million abroad, and more than half of Ukraine children from their homes, according to United Nations. Zelensky said he had made appeals to Western leaders all for one reason, so that Russia understand that it is needed, or peace is needed, to be achieved. And moving on, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met his Indian counterpart in New Delhi on Friday. Indian Foreign Ministry said after he arrived in the capital of the first visit by a top Chinese official since border clash in 2020. The media said he had already met India's powerful National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. The top Chinese diplomats visited Pakistan and Afghanistan this week and is set to fly to Nepal later in the day on a whirlwind tour of South Asia, where China is trying to deepen its influence. Relations between old rivals India and China took a serious turn for the worse with a June 2020 clash in the Ladakh region on their Himalayan border, in which at least 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers were killed. The two sides are expected to discuss their border tensions as well as Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And still on the foreign scene, the U.S. ambassador to Mexico on Thursday urged Mexican lawmakers to join the United States in supporting Kyiv against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A day after his Russia counterparts encouraged Mexico to defy Uncle Sam. Ukraine's ambassador to Mexico, Oksana, earlier said this month urged Mexican lawmakers to support international sanctions and order efforts to isolate Russia. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López has sought to remain neutral in the Ukraine conflict. While supporting the United Nations vote urging Russia to withdraw its forces from Ukraine, his government has also criticized Europe for sending arms to other countries. And now on to the sports scene. Gareth Bale labeled Spanish newspaper headline, targeting him as disgusting after his 2 goals against Austria puts Wales within 1 game of reaching the World Cup. Wales moved 1 step closer to their first World Cup since 1958 as Bale stole the show in a 2-1 win over Austria in the playoff semi-final. Spanish media outlets had criticized Bale after he linked up with Wales, having been upset for Real Madrid in Sunday's El Clasico against Barcelona. Bale's celebration for the first goal was full of emotion as he looked to be sending a message to some of his doubters by mouthing words into the camera. And finally, Ghana will host Nigeria in the first leg in Kumasi, while the decisive leg will hold in Abuja on March 29th. The winner of the tie over 2 leg will join 4 older African countries on the trip to Qatar later this year. The Super Eagles arrived in Kumasi yesterday for the clash, which many believe is one of the most anticipated matches of the first leg of the 2022 World Cup playoffs. Apart from deciding which country qualifies for the World Cup, it is also about pride and bragging rights, as well as opportunity to pacify either of the team fans following both countries' poor outing at the last African Cup of Nations. Ghana coach Ado, a former international midfielder, has assured Black Stars fans that his side will make them smile, but he acknowledges that victory would not come on a platter of gold. And it's a wrap on news updates on AFRICUNIA television. Remember to stay connected and updated. Do follow all our social media platforms on Jointum, Pangram, Instagram and Facebook respectively. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with the news and other programs. My name is Deborah Ezeh. Bye for now.